It's all about that one job. Thanks and Infernos. We love you guys. We really appreciate all the love and support you give to us, but more importantly, we love and the fact that you support. Go out and watch movies and hang and keep in touch on the socials of all of the people that we love to talk to. Tiffany Shepis, thank you so much.
What's up? The Vampireanddevil podcast, my second favorite podcast in the entire world. You heard it.
Patent pending.
Who's number one?
Maybe Adam Green's one?
That's a hot third.
Okay.
Number one, my podcast.
Exactly.
Casualty Friday.
Yes, absolutely.
Us at Casualty Friday are huge fans of the Vampireanddevil podcast.
And we love Casualty Friday. So many casualties.
So many on every Friday.
I know, exactly. So we're going to bring a few of you back from the dead a little bit. So first and foremost, New Jersey HorrorCon, how's it been treating you? It's been a good time. And
it's been a good time. I love New Jersey. I mean, obviously, Tromaville was born and raised in New Jersey, right? It's where all the toxic dumps in the world are now. I love New Jersey. I'm from New York originally, so just my little brother and sister right next door.
There you go.
So anytime I get a chance to come back, especially for New Jersey HorrorCon, I will.
And I mean, going back to Tromaville, I mean, how much do we love Uncle Lloyd?
Everybody loves Uncle Lloyd. And how cool is it that we finally have a big budget studio Toxic Avenger?
Yes, absolutely.
And for those out there that don't know, on the Blu-ray re-release and the streaming, there is a Tiffany Shepis Toxic Shock with Tiffany Shepis special feature for the new Toxie, which is really, really cool. You guys should watch it. It's a lot of fun. It will give you some trauma-rific memories.
Oh, nice.
And I got to ask you straight up, talk a little bit about Tales of Halloween. I love that movie so much.
Dude, Tales of Halloween's so fun. But first of all, I love all horror anthologies.
Yep. Big Trick or Treat fan.
Big Trick or Treat fan. But also in Halloween or Tales of Halloween, I act in my scenes with another Trauma alumni, Mr. Trent Haga.
Yep.
And my daughter, Mia, is the one who is the little witch who stabs him in the beginning.
I love Killjoy.
So fun. And then if you like Tales of Halloween, you should also watch Deathcember, written and directed by another Trauma alumni, Michael Verratti. And our segment is All Sales Fatal. So it's what happens when holiday shopping goes horribly wrong. So you have to watch it.
And there's peers and colleagues also all around you. Of course, you're part of Sharknado. Tara Reid's been close by this weekend.
Tara Reid is here this weekend. I was also in Ouija House with her.
Yep.
Yeah,
you were, for sure. Sitting right on my shelf.
Look at that. Yeah, we got the Goosebumps people here. Right next door to John O'Hurley. Did you know that he has hosted the International Dog Show for 29 years? 29 years he has hosted the dog show. He is so good at introducing dogs that now I know about dogs that I didn't know about before.
Yep.
He started all that when you were 3 years old too, right?
All of that. And more.
Yep.
And we're going to convince him to do his first horror film.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that.
Absolutely, for sure.
So the guests here are really cool. We also had a Night of the Demons reunion because Amelia Kincaid was here.
Yep.
So that was pretty awesome. I got to be in the remake for that, and she's here, and she's dope, and she's so awesome. Super nice and cool. So it's been a good show. Super fun.
Absolutely, for sure. Devil, my friend.
Yeah. Talk about Adam Green a little bit. Talk about working with him in the Hatchet series. Obviously with Victor Crowley. Talk about working with a guy who is the in guy of nowadays with all the horror, bringing all the icons back into the horror thing.
No, Adam's great. I mean, I've been friends with Adam for years, and we had always talked about doing projects together, and it never lined up. And then I did his Scary Sleepover segment. And we just had the best time, and he's just so fun to fuck with, and he knows so much about horror movies that you can just geek out. So when he asked me to do Victor Crowley, it was a super secret project. Nobody was supposed to talk about it. And I was like, how are you going to put me and Kane and Felissa and Dane, all these people in this movie and expect us to not talk about it?
Right.
But we did. We all held true. Nobody spilled it. And it worked out because people love it. People love that movie. We got to have Brian Quinn in it. It was his first horror film. He played my baby daddy. And I don't know, sad things happen. But I will tell you something.
Casualties.
I will tell you something. I did not die in that movie. And here's why. Let's think of this.
Okay.
All right. So the water's over my face. I'm there. It's only this much water. It's not really a big deal. First of all, they're so stupid. Why didn't they just push some away to keep me alive? Or a straw. anything.
Seriously.
Right? Anyhow, at the time I'm about to drown, Crowley comes to the window on the other side. They all run over there. The plane would tip, putting the water away from my face.
Yep.
So maybe I was dead for a few minutes, but then I'm back alive. And at the end, Crowley takes me, brings me back to his little cabin. I am there. I have the baby. The baby's not totally right, kind of like Victor. So he loves the baby, raises the killer baby as his own. I have Munchausen by proxy syndrome. So I'm like obsessed with him, Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. So I'm in love with him now. Danielle Harris comes back, and now she's got to fight 2 fucking Victor Crowleys, and she thinks she's saving me, but I have to fight her because I'm like, no, this is my man. I love Victor Crowley now.
Adam Green, get on it.
And you're going to have Danielle Harris in a movie and not expect her to talk about it?
Exactly. So that's the new movie. That's what we're doing. Adam doesn't know about it yet, but
you can have a backstory. Maybe you are a Navy SEAL and you know how to hold your breath for like 10 minutes.
I was a Navy SEAL. So there it is. There's the new Hatchet film coming out next year. I have written it. Adam Green's going to direct it. He doesn't know yet, but we're going to tell him. Maybe you've heard it here first on the Vampire and Devil podcast.
Producer credits.
Producer credits. Yep.
Absolutely, for sure. And the other thing that's also really cool about that is we were here a couple years back when Kane Hodder was here and he got the Icon Award for New Jersey HorrorCon. That one of the things that was so cool is the way they designed those awards. And instead of having it look like a Jason face, they had it as Victor Crowley's, which I always thought was super cool because that was something they also addressed in the presentation, was that there are multiple Jasons, despite the fact that he's pretty universally known as the guy and the preferred Jason. But there's only one Victor Crowley. There's only one actor who's ever been Victor Crowley.
It is pretty cool.
Which is really cool.
And just the fact that, I'm a horror fan from a little kid. And the Hatchet series really kind of spoke to like the 80s fun stuff that I loved, like that I grew up with, like really campy and silly and crazy and mega over the top. So Adam, and because he's such a fan, it shows through, right? Like, anybody could go and make a horror film, and people make them for money all the time, which is laughable because none of us make any money. But like, he is such a fan that you can't help but cheerlead for him.
Right, and it's also got that campy comedy to that series as well, because you've got that corporate sleaze factor of like the guy with the shitty like autobiography trying to take everybody's money and stuff like that, for sure. But Devil, let's kick it over to you because we want to keep you on schedule, of course, to talk with Devil's questions, but also a little bit about just what you got going on.
Yeah, we're talking about like Chomeo, we're talking about Lloyd. I remember I was telling everybody this story, and it's a good one for you because you're talking about the independent films and stuff like that. First time I met Lloyd, I told him that he's my generation version of Ed Wood.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Because that's what I feel. How do you feel about like what that world of Lloyd and the craziness and kookiness and campiness of his mind?
Well, look, you can't watch any of the old Trauma movies and not see the genius in Lloyd pop through, right? Yeah. Like, and even if the movies aren't for you, from a pure marketing standpoint, the way he and Michael Hurst but really Lloyd, because he's like the face, the way they put that company together and created like legit a horror family, right? Like if you walk by a Trauma table, you could be the loneliest motherfucker on earth and you can be the ugliest and smelliest, and it doesn't matter, you are going to be embraced, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so he kind of created con culture before that was a thing. You know what I mean? Because, I never saw that kind of camaraderie from anyone else at shows except for Trauma for the longest time. Now everybody's really inclusive and everybody's welcoming, right? But a long time ago, 20 years ago, it wasn't like that, except at the Trauma table. You could sleep at the Trauma office if you needed to. You could, they're not going to pay you. You're going to eat cheese sandwiches, but hey, they're at least getting a cheese sandwich.
Exactly.
Right? So there's something like so magical and cool about the Trauma family. Right. And then like being kind of the indie underdog for a long time, and seeing like ripoffs and stuff like that was always like disheartening. So it's really cool to see them finally, like somebody was like, "Oh man, we went to a Trauma event the other day and the line was around the block for Uncle Lloyd," and you're like, "That's cool. That's cool." So yeah, I started with Trauma.
How was it? Fright Reads.
That's awesome. They made my first movie. I was a 16-year-old idiot, and the statement is true. Everything I learned about filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that too, especially because I'm the devil and I love my sin and my skin. Talk about like obviously you could see some of the photos. Talk about being able to just express yourself and openly with your body and stuff like that. As far as taking photos, and not afraid of like showing off any of that kind of stuff. Talk about that part of the industry,
dude. I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up making these movies, doing conventions with the likes of really rad women like Brink Stevens, and Carolyn Monroe, and these just kind of really Amelia Kincaid, women that really like embraced their sexuality and the fact that they were cool and tough and like all that whole package, rather than like, oh, I just have to be like feminine and pretty and timid and run away from danger, right? Like these were like the Julie Strains of the world that were like, I'm a fucking beast. Right?
Linnea Quigley has a lot of that.
She does too. Yeah. Like Debbie Rochon. Like there's just a lot of women that I grew up going to conventions with when I was starting out, but they were kind of a little more seasoned, right? Like had been around longer, and I was like, oh man, like that's what I like. That's cool. That's like just being able to embrace whoever you want to be. And I thought a lot of those women did that, and I feel like the genre allowed that for a long time before it was modernly hip to do so, right? Like now every movie has like a really badass female heroine, which is how it should be, but it wasn't that way forever. We were always looking at douchebag guys like to save the day, but not in indie horror films.
No, not at all. There is also one thing I want to touch on real quick, of course, before we let you go, and because I think it's like also very important to put it out there, and I'm just kind of choosing my words as like carefully based on, of course, what you would like to talk about, but you are quite the advocate for protection for the young people when it comes to like violence and stuff like that. You've always been a very, very positive advocate for that kind of protection. We'd love you to talk a little bit based on your comfort level on what you do in that world.
Yeah, so we anyone who's a remote fan or friend of mine knows the story of what happened to our daughter, and she was shot at a school shooting. And from that minute on, we became really big advocates against, obviously against gun violence, but violence in general, but specifically making sure that people that have a firearm lock it up safely. Keep them away from kids. Keep them away from somebody in crisis, right? It's the number one leading cause of death of children in the United States, and it doesn't have to be that way. And the number one reason why is it's often accidental. Right? It's a little kid that gets a gun, and guess what? They look like fucking toys. So if you're listening to this, you even remotely like me, even this much, or if you just love the podcast, has nothing to do with anything that you think your rights are. It has to do with just keeping a kid safe.
Well, yeah, because you have that organization with the trauma where you're helping out people who are trying to go to college and stuff like that, that don't have the necessities or the ability to, be funded for people who have gone through that stuff.
Yeah, well, and here's the interesting thing. If anybody has ever gone through a violent crime like that, there are victims advocates in every single state. Not a lot of people know about this. And I know this, we went from like a fun interview to like a serious topic, but guess what? That's it. That's how we do this. It's the horror family, right? And so if you've gone through something like that, always like Google search, do you have a victims advocacy group in your area? Because there's often things that'll pay for some of your medical. There'll be people that can pay for you to take a taxi cab to get to your doctor's appointment, stuff like that. And always dial 988 for some mental health help because we all need it. Don't feel shame in it. I'm not a medical professional by any means, but we really just want to make sure people are safe and take care of themselves and take care of your neighbors. And guess what? Just because you teach your kid how to handle a firearm, right? Just because you go, oh, my kid knows how to do it, his best friend may not. The kid that comes over for a play date may not. Your grandkid may not, right? Like, so it's always not just about you and your person. It's about who has access to your home. And we just want to keep people safe and happy so we can keep making the violence for fake.
Exactly.
Fake violence in cool movies and, leave it there.
Every child grows up playing cowboys and Indians. So it's simply about the proper education.
That's it. Proper education and just keep the real things away and out of the hands of people that intend to do harm to themselves or others or a kid that wouldn't know any better.
Exactly.
That's my public service announcement.
Devil, anything final from yourself, my friend? Tiffany, we love you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, I love you guys. And thank you for the support, for fighting the good fight to keep us all happy and healthy and our horror hearts full.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Fangs and Infernos. He's Devil. I'm Vampire. More importantly, she is Tiffany Shepis. We will see you guys soon.
The Vampireanddevil podcast is now taking place at Casualty Friday. It's my number one.
Oh, it's number one. You hear that?
Number one. Number 1.
Yeah.
Horns up. Fangs out.